No one attended the celebration for the head executive's disabled child until an African-American youngster asked, "May I participate?" And that modest act of compassion turned into the most profound teaching on fairness that an affluent household could ever encounter. "Papa, when will my pals show up?" Emma's gentle tone resounded in the vacant ballroom of the Mitchell estate, where 24 rose-colored balloons drifted forlornly over unoccupied seats. Robert Mitchell, leader of the top-earning drug conglomerate along the Atlantic seaboard, glanced at his luxury timepiece for the 10th occasion that day, marking 120 minutes. That's the duration since the planned beginning of Emma's 7th anniversary event, with 0 youngsters appearing. The fairy tale fortress dessert sat pristine. The fancy pastry stayed pristine, and the expert entertainer booked for a grand remained tinkering with his mobile device, obviously restless. The harsh reality was straightforward. Following the mishap that rendered Emma unable to walk from the waist down 24 months prior, the households of Westfield's upper class had slowly withdrawn. The justifications were invariably courteous, yet the bias was evident. A mobility aid unsettled them. The fact of impairment disturbed them. They could be delayed by congestion. King Robert fibbed, straightening his designer neckwear while observing his offspring navigate her bespoke mobility device. Each action served as a stinging echo of Margaret, his spouse, who perished in the identical incident that harmed Emma. At that instant, the entry bell chimed. Robert nearly dashed to the main entrance, readying his finest corporate grin to at last greet an attendee. But upon swinging open the elaborate portal, his grin wavered. An African-American lad around 8 years old stood on the stone stairs, dressed in a hero-graphic shirt with several rips and denim pants evidently mended. His faded footwear stood out sharply against the opulent doorway of the residence. "Hello, mister," the lad stated courteously, his gaze sparkling with authentic delight. "I learned there's an anniversary gathering here. I'm Jamal, and I reside in the subsidized apartments nearby." He gestured toward the low-income development scarcely noticeable beyond the wrought iron barriers. Robert was briefly mute. Among all the wealthy youths in Westfield who had declined Emma's summons, it was an underprivileged child from the area who had arrived at her threshold requesting to partake. "I lack an invite," Jamal proceeded truthfully. "But I vow to behave perfectly. I merely spotted the balloons via the pane and figured perhaps the celebrant felt isolated." Prior to Robert's reply, Emma emerged at his rear, propelling her seat inquisitively. "Papa, who's there?" Jamal grinned widely, displaying a gap in his front teeth. "Hey, you have to be the celebrant. Joyful anniversary." "Apologies, no gift from me, but I can belt out the song super loudly if desired." Emma chuckled for the initial time in weeks. "Do you truly wish to remain at my event?" "Absolutely. Such occasions are awesome." Robert observed the exchange with increasing wonder. In under 300 seconds, a stranger youth had accomplished what costly counselors and planned activities couldn't. Elicit a real grin from Emma. Yet there was an element in Jamal's gaze. A faint wisdom that appeared odd for one so youthful. As though he comprehended fully the type of solitude Emma experienced. As though he had encountered his own form of dismissal and ostracism. If this tale moved your soul, join the feed to discover how a basic gesture of youthful goodwill would uncover the profoundest scars of a whole society and how authentic retribution occasionally arrives in the most surprising form imaginable. "Enter, Jamal," Robert declared, flinging the estate portal fully ajar. Emma truly required a sincere companion. The ensuing hours were an enlightenment that rendered Robert utterly astonished. Jamal didn't merely participate in the festivity, he utterly revamped it. He engaged with Emma as if her aid device mattered least globally. Devised activities where she starred as the protagonist and emphasized praising each aspect of the adornments as if they were the grandest sights he'd witnessed. "Wow, that dessert is enormous," Jamal proclaimed, eyes bulging. "At home, we mark with store-bought mix, but this resembles a film prop." Emma giggled so intensely she nearly sputtered her drink. "Jamal, you're the most amusing buddy I've known." As the kids frolicked in the estate's yard, Robert viewed from the glass, sensing an odd blend of appreciation and remorse. How could an 8-year-old from the outskirts possess greater empathy and ease than Westfield's whole cultured upper crust? Then the telephone sounded. "Robert, Patricia Vanderbilt speaking," uttered the icy tone on the line. Patricia parented one of Emma's former playmates and chaired the governing body of the town's premier academy. "I must discuss a sensitive issue." "What's the matter, Patricia?" Well, certain moms have contacted me with worries. They claim an unusual youngster is frolicking on your grounds. A youngster who obviously doesn't fit our societal group. Robert sensed fury surge. You mean Jamal? The sole youth who bothered to attend my child's festivity. Robert, grasp our stance. We maintain conventional households with specific norms. We avoid our offspring associating with improper influences, particularly given Emma's vulnerable condition. The chill in her phrases struck Robert like a blow. Improper influences. Patricia, you refer to an 8-year-old. A kid from those apartments. Robert, we're aware of the sorts dwelling there. Substances, aggression, absent parental setup. Do you genuinely wish to subject Emma to such effects? Via the glass, Robert viewed Jamal gently guiding Emma's aide through the yard. Both chortling while feigning speed racers. The vista was so innocent and cheerful it clashed harshly with the malice from the call. You know, Patricia. Jamal has displayed more elegance and etiquette in 120 minutes than you've in years of acquaintance. Robert, avoid naivety. Such folks invariably harbor hidden agendas. They're likely scheming to capitalize on his benevolence already. Following the call's end, Robert remained stationary, observing the youths. For the initial occasion in 24 months, Emma was truly joyful, and he faced criticism for it. Subsequently, as Jamal prepared to depart, an event occurred that Robert would eternally recall. Emma grasped her fresh pal's palm and stated, Jamal, will you return tomorrow? If Papa permits, I'll return daily. Jamal responded, beaming widely. What if folks utter negativity about you? Jamal grew solemn briefly. A startling insight gleaming in his juvenile gaze. Emma, my grandma constantly imparts a key lesson. Those who assess by exteriors can't perceive inner souls. And souls with goodness ignore what unkind folks opine. Robert sensed a tightness in his throat. This 8-year-old possessed greater insight on personal worth than any wealthy leaders he associated with. Jamal Roberts declared, dropping to the lad's level. You'll forever be accepted in this home. Eternally. Thanks, Mr. Mitchell. And ignore others' words. My kin has endured far harsher, emerging tougher always. Something in Jamal's delivery made Robert recognize a deeper essence to that kin. A serene resilience, a honor that neither destitution nor bias could shatter. While viewing the lad trek back to the subsidized units, Robert lacked awareness that this apparently harmless meeting was poised to reveal Westfield's deepest decay, and the authentic fairness instruction would emerge from the least anticipated source. What those advantaged individuals ignored was that each scornful utterance was meticulously noted by observers who grasped fully each person's genuine nature, and that certain humility teachings arrive in the most unforeseen wrappers feasible. In the days after Emma's gathering, the covert conflict versus the Mitchell kin escalated in a vicious and strategic fashion. Patricia Vanderbilt had rallied her power web like a commander assembling troops, and the assault struck from every direction at once. The initial hit targeted Emma's academy. Mr. Mitchell, Principal Helen Carstairs remarked in a chilly call Monday dawn, we've heard worries from guardians regarding unsuitable connections possibly impacting the academy setting. Maybe reassess certain of Emma's bonds. You mean Jamal? Robert inquired, anger swelling in his torso. Our establishment holds a prestige to preserve. Conventional households anticipate particular conduct standards. Robert disconnected abruptly, yet the offensives were commencing. Tuesday, his drug firm mysteriously forfeited 3 key deals. Long-standing patrons mentioned tactical shifts and fresh industry paths. But Robert knew Westfield's commerce upper class too intimately to miss a synchronized effort. Wednesday, the country club of 15 years tenure examined its enrollment rules and implied he might reassess his communal focuses prior to renewal. But Thursday delivered the harshest strike. Emma returned from academy with swollen eyes from tears, her aide progressing more sluggishly than normal. Papa, she murmured. The girls in class declared I can't dine with them anymore since I'm pals with A.A. Watt. Darling. They employed a nasty term I won't echo. And they warned if I persist friending Jamal, none will converse with me. Robert felt an inner fracture. They assaulted his 8-year-old offspring over an innocent and true bond. Time for response. Friday, Robert performed an act shocking even himself. Rather than office-bound, he motored to Jamal's residential area. He sought acquaintance with the kin that incited such animosity in acquaintances he believed familiar. The Rodriguez dwelling was compact yet spotlessly tidy and arranged. Jamal's grandma, Dona Carmen, welcomed him with poise sharply differing the small-mindedness encountered weekly. "Mr. Mitchell," she uttered in deliberate yet distinct English. "Jamal mentioned the issues our bond caused your kin. Maybe best if he avoids visiting Emma." "No way," Robert asserted resolutely. "I seek comprehension, Dona Carmen. How manage folks judging your exterior?" The 62-year-old lady grinned with insight born from years confronting hardship. "Mr. Mitchell, my kin arrived from Mexico 3 decades past with naught but aspiration and resolve. Jamal entered the world here, but early on, he grasped not all view him by traits. We instilled that when folks reveal true selves, trust them. And when they aim to diminish us, we recall our honor relies not on heartless approvers." Then Miguel Rodriguez, Jamal's dad, returned from labor. His palms soiled with oil and coating, his building attire showed extended strenuous toil. Yet greeting Robert, his stance revealed unbreakable honor. "Mr. Mitchell, understand our kin seeks no handouts or privileges. We labor diligently for possessions, teaching Jamal likewise." "Miguel," Robert uttered, offering his palm. "I suggest an idea. My drug firm expands societal duty initiatives. We require oversight for local efforts, someone grasping true public needs." Miguel paused. "Mr. Mitchell, no university for me. Merely a builder. You possess rarer than credentials. Integrity. Community knowledge, raising a remarkable child. Pay quadruples construction earnings." Dona Carmen interjected, eyes moistening. "Why us? Since you evoke my former self pre-entering a realm valuing worth by finances." But Robert concealed more. During that assault week, he covertly logged each action, call, dubious termination. As drug firm head, Robert held assets and links Patricia Vanderbilt couldn't fathom. Dr. James Thompson, his attorney and longtime ally, discreetly probed motives behind kin-targeted campaign. Discoveries exceeded mere societal bias. Robert Thompson phoned prior afternoon, "View our findings. Patricia Vanderbilt plus 6 elite families entangled in vaster-than-kin assault." "What mean, James?" "Organized residence bias, civic deal rigging, chiefly a plot acquiring Jamal's kin land at minimal cost, compelling evacuations via societal and fiscal stress." Robert paled. "They aim evicting those kins. Worse, demolishing whole site for upscale apartments. Initiative council approved with involved signatures boycotting you." There, in modest yet honorable Rodriguez parlor, Robert grasped this transcended Jamal or Emma. About dominance, avarice, sadistic urge erasing reminders to Westfield upper class of folks with authentic principles and appearance-based realm. "Miguel," Robert stated evenly, "accept position." "Yes, sir." "Honor." "Excellent, initial task special. Will demonstrate underestimating unity's might and wrong kin consequences fatally heirs." What Patricia Vanderbilt and cohorts ignored was each bias move meticulously logged by resource-rich turning hunters hunted, authentic clash commencing. The Westfield Civic Assembly Monday EVOT routine. Patricia Vanderbilt and partners meticulously planned months ensuring vote demolishing residences approving upscale condos near unanimous. Agenda Item 15, Mayor Henderson declared tediously. Ultimate sanction Westfield Gardens venture, supplanting existing residences with premium homes. Patricia smoothed her designer jacket beaming assuredly front row, encircled by local upper allies. Beside, builder Charles Morrison scanned packs promising millions gains all. Ultimate triumph, not solely versus Robert Mitchell, but any idea unfit folks fit her exclusive zone. Then hall portals parted. Robert Mitchell arrived with Miguel Rodriguez, Dr. James Thompson, startlingly 3 probe reporters and federal lodging delegate. Patricia sensed gut chill, maintaining poise. Mere frantic defeated man's tries. "Mr. Mitchell," Mayor Henderson uttered anxiously, assembly nearly concluded. "Indeed," Robert cut in steadily, "I'd present pertinent Westfield Gardens Data Council should know pre-vote." Dr. Thompson neared stand with thick dossier. "Council, I advocate not solely Mr. Mitchell, but 68 residences families unlawfully pressured abandoning homes." Patricia's pulse quickened. "Absurd. All families duly informed legally. Ms. Vanderbilt, Thompson proceeded frostily grinning. Rethink that. He engaged projector, initial visual emerged. Audio clip. Patricia's tone resounded hall. Render these folks' existences so miserable no option but take our paltry bid. Sever utilities, hike penalties, whatever needed. Patricia iced. How acquired that tape? Illegal sans permission. She yelled, composure lost. Actually, federal operative noted, under probe 3 months federal fair housing breaches. Tape legally gained via judicial warrant. Second visual, males, twixt Patricia Morrison, counsel discussing hastening undesirables removal ensuring venture upholds community moral norms. Charles Morrison attempted subtle exit, met 2 federal blockers. Mr. Morrison, Thompson pressed unyieldingly. Explain counsel why firm bid mere 30% market for residences properties. Third disclosure crushing. Forged pacts, rigged valuations, synchronized fraud cheating families and municipality millions. Robert rose finally, tone steady yet morally weighted. Weeks watched supposed moral superiors assault my kin as daughter bonded poor African-American youth. Leveraged sway attempting ruin my enterprise, segregate daughter academy, socially banish us. He gestured Patricia, now trembling visibly. Yet hubris obscured key fact. While squandering assaulting diversity embracing kin, I precisely logged each unlawful action. Fourth disclosure most shaming. Robert covertly taped calls where Patricia others frankly aired racial biases and Westfield cleansing undesirables schemes. Not merely discriminated Rodriguez kin other residences families, Robert proceeded, committed logged federal offenses yielding incarceration and utter insolvency all. Patricia attempted final frantic gambit. Robert, ruining whole society over bruised emotions. Miguel Rodriguez ascended gradually, steadfast honor contrasting her panic. Madam, my kin reached this land 30 years past with naught but aspiration and labor will. Never sought handouts or perks. Merely fundamental right peaceful living raising offspring honorably. You ward unable accepting human worth unmeasured by funds or hue, he advanced, voice strengthening. Now learn undervaluing diligent upright folks bears unimagined repercussions. Mayor Henderson, sensing scandal immersion, tried abrupt closure, but federals distributed warrants. Patricia Vanderbilt, vicious innocent kin campaign orchestrator, exited hall cuffed amid flash bulbs capturing each public disgrace second. As restraints clicked on once law superior wrists, query lingered. Can authentic fairness mend such profound scars? Or must humanity teachings arrive most agonizingly feasible? Half-year post-Westfield shaking scandal, change evident every city nook. Robert Mitchell occupied revamped workspace, now adorned kids' artworks benefiting drug firms' societal schemes when Emma wheeled in, propelling aid vigorously renewed. Dad, see, she cried, displaying tablet image. Jamal secured top at Academy Science Expo. Community Preventive Health entry selected state representation. Robert grinned, recalling months prior same youth deemed threat by area upper. Now Jamal enrolled Emma's Academy full aid via Mitchell drug sponsor, emerging academic luminary. Emma's existence utterly altered. Distant false pals prejudice abandoning her, she discovered true youth circle prizing her vibrant character and keen wit. Bodily limitation mere trivial amid authentic bonds mutual esteem sincere warmth. No more, Dad. Emma proceeded thrilled. Instructor noted our diversity inclusion talk so excellent other academies seek invite teaching real bonds. Phone chimed Robert responded grinning persistent. Miguel Rodriguez, now societal duty head Mitchell Drugs, phoning from semester implemented community health site. Robert, view Latino area health figures, Miguel uttered, tone pride emotion laden. Served 200 plus families monthly, gratis meds aided 3,000 plus youths. Dona Carmen here wishes personal thanks. Dona Carmen's weak yet resolute tone phoned. Mr. Mitchell, my kin reached this land hope faith alone. Never envisioned finder turning aspiration tangible chance. Grandson pursues preventive health as you demonstrated dreams realize meeting kind souls. Robert eyes moistened. Inherited expanded drug firm decades finally unearthed true aim. Earnings sustained, surged vastly shifting elite steep margins to bulk access. Meanwhile town opposite, Patricia Vanderbilt endured stark contrast. Perched modest flat, savage drop former multimillion estate, she scanned legal stack sealing fiscal societal doom. Federal probes unearth not solely property plot, but decades corruption net. Patricia forfeited all. Residence, assets, standing, chiefly kin esteem. Grown offspring severed fully, shamed public bias crimes reveal. Charles Morrison, property plot architect, endured 8-year federal lockup. Firm insolvent, aimed stolen residences properties transformed exemplar community hub offering learning, care, employment region-wide. Mayor Henderson quit shamed, succeeded Maria Gonzalez, initial Latina Westfield mayor, chosen inclusion fairness platform. Emma's Academy underwent full admin overhaul. Ex-principal Helen Carstairs dismissed bias, succeeded Dr. James Patterson, African-American educator inclusive learning doctorate. Aid scheme widened, establishment national diverse education exemplar. Yet deepest shift Westfield society core. Formerly isolated privilege bubbles families joined communal schemes actively. Varied economic ethnic youths played parks. Diverse culture parents teamed academy tasks town fostered true multicultural essence. Robert launched groundbreaking firm scheme. Each premium insured high-profit meds sold, identical gratis lower in kin. Approach triumphed others emulated, industry change ripple. Ex-Patricia aimed stolen site community health became area med hub. Donna Carmen, age advanced, volunteered thrice weekly, educating immigrant kins preventive care fundamental citizen entitlements. Jamal Emma emerged local emblems bonds surpassing societal walls. Invited inclusion talks, local TV features, tales spurred dozens regional academy education shifts. Papa, Emma uttered one day finishing Jamal Social Fairness Academy task garden. Recall my sadness no one attended party. Certainly, dear. Now grasp best occurrence possible. Had phony youths arrived, never encountered Jamal wonderful kin. Occasionally negatives clear space vastly superior. Jamal assented sagely, youth maturity striking. Grandma constantly states when folks display true selves, trust initially. Those displayed bias meanness. You displayed generosity equity. Now all witness contrast. Robert viewed duo pals realizing they grasped adult late lesson. Individual worth unmeasured by finances, hue, residence, but character content, others treatment. Mitchell drugs emerged sector most admired, not mere peak earnings, but ethical commerce societal duty coexistence reinforcement proven. Robert fielded weekly university commerce talks invites transforming entities via authentic principles. Patricia Vanderbilt conversely symbolized privilege elite wrongs. Sporadically Robert spotted her neighborhood market current residents, evading gazes. Fall utter public became Commerce Academy case on bias corruption leadership repercussions. One day, scandal year exact, Robert read Emma Jamal Estate Yard received surprise call. Mr. Mitchell, Patricia Vanderbilt. Robert wavered yet answered. What for you, Patricia? I wish apologize awful deeds uttered pondered your kin Rodriguez kin. Forfeited all deservedly, but finally grasped my error. Patricia, value words, but regrets to harmed families, not me. Already did. Pen notes Miguel, Carmen, even young Jamal. No undue harm impossible, but wished you aware your kin imparted lesson decades overdue. What lesson? Authentic riches unrelated funds. Post-call, Robert pondered justice full gratifying shape. Patricia not solely lost position wealth, compelled face awful self perhaps life first displayed true regret. Robert Mitchell Jamal Rodriguez tale demonstrated sowing kindness fairness seeds, even seeming sterile ground, blooming garden transforms whole societies. Occasionally optimal prejudice vengeance not destroyer harmers, but construct world prejudice thrives no more. If this tale moved soul bolstered human compassion belief, join feed more tales proving authentic fairness paths courageous sours.